Okay, so we talked about the AP failover and everything that may happen there. Let's talk about controller redundancy and high availability of the actual controllers and how the APs have access to them. First off, one of the things we really want to do is look at having controller redundancy as N, your required network N. So whatever wireless LAN controllers you need, plus at least one wireless LAN controller for backup. So here you can see in our environment, let me grab an arrow here to really show this to you. Here we have a wireless LAN controller, and it has a primary LAN controller of A. So right there, you can see that that is its primary. But it also has a secondary LAN controller, which is B. So we can see that it has two. It has a primary, a secondary, and even a tertiary in this case. It has a third option. So we can fail between those three. And we can see that this is pretty much the same for all of our wireless access points in our environment. Now, I know there's lots of arrows. I don't like how the arrows are drawn, and that's why I'm doing my own. So you can see in more colors exactly how this looks. But notice that our primaries are different on each one of these APs. The primary for the AP on the left is, in fact, A, the green one. But it is the tertiary controller for the one in the middle and the secondary controller for the one on the right. So we've switched things up. I've showed you this setting here where we can find it, and I'll show it to you again. Where can we find these actual AP settings? Let's go to our wireless device. We'll actually go to our actual device, this actual AP. It's called AP Office One. This is in our lab wireless LAN controller. I'm going to grab the high availability, and you can see it. My primary, my secondary, and tertiary. I can define these. They're not defined in my environment, but I can. Okay, just like you see in the slide. So here is the importance of this. What you really want is enough that if one of these fail in your environment, you still have a primary and secondary. If this fails in the environment, this wireless LAN controller fails, or connectivity to that wireless LAN controller fails, which is basically the same thing in terms of the AP's perspective, right? Doesn't matter if it's working in the background. If I can't reach it, I don't know about it. So this is off the list. That means this is off the list. That means this now becomes my primary, and this wireless LAN controller becomes my secondary. So primary and secondary. Very important process where high availability is an incredible concern in your environment. This gives me predictability, right? I know what's going to happen in my environment. Let me erase all my doodles here, and let's start talking about this. I know what happens when this wireless LAN controller fails. I have it all laid out. I know exactly what's going to happen. Moreover, because I have this laid out, because I took the time to define primary, secondary, and tertiary, I know this AP is going to fail over quickly because we have this pre-planned, right? It's pre-planned to go here. Pre-planned that this will be the secondary. It's already set up. It already knows what to do. I don't have to run the dynamic CapWAP process. I don't have to figure out which wireless LAN controller has less loads. I've already have it planned where I'm going. I also have fallback. So if this fails and then comes back up, I'm going to go back to it as my primary. This is a flexible and very powerful configuration. The only problem is what? I have to do the planning. I'm the one who programmed this, right? Let's go back to my actual device. You see here, it doesn't put in anything for me. I have to do the work here. So that's one of the drawbacks. This is very administratively taxing. We have to do the work. So here you can see it's very powerful. It's very flexible, but I'm the one who has to do all the work. And last but not least, this is stateless redundancy. There's no automation taking place here. Like I said, it takes a lot of upfront planning and configuration. So very, very high amount of work taking place.